Hey everybody, hopefully y'all doing great. Happy almost Merry Christmas. It's been a while since I made a video, but I want to talk about the new units that are in the PTR right now for the new season. The two T4s and the one T5 that I get to in a bit.
Let this
The two
victory be the
T4s is the
last.
polearm unit with bleed and self-heal. Self-heal. It's anti-cav and bleed over time. These are the traits. While in Chival the phrase, I might have botched that, but oh well. The iron bladed plating reduce damage taken and cause melee attacks to bleed, so it kind of like damage over time. Pole arms instead of hard hitting, I guess. Attacks against bleeding enemies restore your health, so they do have self heal, so they could maybe survive longer in a fight if they attack long enough. And the hooked bill blade. When the unit turns more nimbly, dealing damage to cavalry reduces their movement speed by 60% for 2 seconds. So they're kind of a little bit more against anti-cav than infantry, but have to see in game. The formations look weird though. The phalanx, the crane formation, and I've never seen this one. It's kind of like a triangle wedge formation. We'll have to test out how it looks. And here the abilities take root, immediately crouch and enter shield with the phrase stance, attacking enemies within its zone. Shield with the phrase gains increased ability and deals massive damage to charging cavalry and infantry. So it's kind of like the Scylla guards, but with self heal and bleeding, I guess. Thorn strike, gain rapidly decaying 48 damage reduction. Your next attack will knock down enemy troops. If used while shield with the phrase, it does not cancel the stance and instead becomes an area of effect that ignores guarding enemies. So yeah, they can be really tanky and do area damage at the same time when this is active. But I don't know exactly how long it lasts, so I'm gonna have to test that as well. And these are the veteran Cs. The top one inflicts weakness. Fortunately, it doesn't say what kind of weakness. I would really hope it would be more specific, but that's all we got for now. The top one seems more the defensive route. Oh, and also this one they gain 2 seconds of immunity when casting Thorn Strike. So it's this one. So they can be damage. They have 40% damage reduction and 2% immunity if top row. Yeah, top one is mostly defense, I think. The bottom one is damage, and this is how it looks at the end of veterancy. So they can attack two targets when using the ability. So since they have 37, they could potentially be attacking 70 plus units if they'll start hitting. And this one shift the phrase, if no enemy stands before them, they'll attempt to strike distant targets. I don't know how this works exactly, so I'm gonna have to test that out as well. Do they basically become uncontrollable or something? Let's see. These are the doctrines. One shield with the phrase, the effect of Iron Briar against cavalry is doubled, so basically more damage when positioned. Just do double the damage against cav. And if Thorn Strike damages a bleeding enemy, restore 4% of max health. So if timed correctly, when using this ability and they're bleeding, you could survive longer if timed correctly. So these are the doctrines, the traits, and the formations. Anti-cav and damage over time. Their attributes, their health is not impressive, but they make it up for the strength because there's not a lot of units that reach almost 40. So this is a high number count. That's why they have low health. Their leadership is pretty low. Their leadership is actually super low. So it's not bad to bring them. Decent speed, decent damage. Damage is not really crazy. The defense is pretty well. They have good defenses. But even though they have higher defenses, their health is still pretty lacking. So I have to see if it makes up for it.
A true king's right is
And
granted
then
by blood, not by
the
traitors'
special cav. This
swords.
is kind of special cav called Yorkist Crest Heavy Cavalry. So even though it says heavy cavalry, their health and defenses are not that impressive. But their damage is good. They have good damage, but the health and impressive are not anything crazy. They have a strength 17. Their leadership is pretty good. Good speed. And the unit traits, they can go from cav mode to infantry mode whenever you feel like it. This one is the one that you can switch between cav and infantry. Each form has a 60-second cooldown, so you can't spam it. On follow mode, yeah, let me read the unit orders first. During the loyal Yorkist guard dismounts once fights on foot. So this is the stand switch. This one does not have a description, but it's basically a charge. Okay, so this is a charge order. This is cover commander. This is cover commander version of the horse. So basically just dagger axe cover commander. And this is when the units go into infantry mode. And this basically cover commander again for infantry, the infantry side of the unit. The loyal Yorkist guard form a ring around the leech, swearing to hold their ground unto death. So again, just the ability is pretty straightforward. Mount, dismount, mount, cover commander horse, cover commander on foot, and charge on horse. The unit's less vulnerable to fire. If follow mode on the cavalry, so this one. Follow mode on the cavalry, they deploy faster and require fewer troops to complete the formation when attacking freely. They will not spread out too far another. So they're basically faster when you use cover commander. In Knight's Pact, the unit starts the battle mounted. Casting Knights while mounted switches and fighting on foot. Casting Irons return while on foot returns to mounted status. So it's basically just these two abilities. The Doctrines are nothing too crazy. Except this one. This one might be good. During the Knight's Oath, damage taken is reduced by 15%. And during Knight's Oath, restore 120 health per second. Knight's Oath is the cover commander for infantry, if you remember. And the other one, Knight's Will. Knight's Will is cover commander on horse. Knight's Will cooldown reduced by 4 seconds. And during Knight's Will, movement speed is increased by 15%. So, yeah, both of these doctrines go to their respective stands to see which use whatever situation you're in. And for the veterancy, this is pretty basic stuff except for these two. After Iron Cavalry's return, restore 4% of max health per second for 8 seconds. So during cover commander on horse form, they restore health. And during Knight's Will, the heavy cavalry share immune. Cavalry's charge is immune to control effect for 1 second. So yeah, each veterancy line kind of depends if you want to use them on cavalry mode or on infantry mode. This bottom one is cavalry mode, so you get HP 5 and immune when charging. And the top one is on infantry mode. And that was the cavalry side of things. Now for the infantry side of the veterancy line, there is this one. There's just damage against melee units by 200. So this one is pretty good to get. You can have 600 damage increase in total. And after casting Knight's Arrival, which is the dismount from horse to infantry, you can get a 20% damage increase for 14 seconds. So it's really good to use right when you're gonna fight. More cooldown reduction, guard break, damage increase, and during Knight's Oath, which is the cover commander of the infantry, the heavy cavalry will launch a charge to rapidly strike their targets. So kind of like mini Swen handlers sword slashing. That's kind of what they do with their long swords. And yeah, that's the T4 that's both of the T4's cavalry and polearm unit. But when I scroll down all the way to the bottom, actually I can just do this. When I scroll down all the way to the bottom, I found this as well, which it's not gonna be released in the PTR until the 12th. So until the 12th,
A good use,
there's not
Stave.
gonna be any
A
gameplay
goose
of
feathered
this.
shaft and an English eye to aim it all.
There's not gonna
Nothing
be any
better.
gameplay on this until the 12th, but we can see its stats right now. The attributes, really low health, so you want to defend these guys. 24, really good. Cheap leadership. Range, almost the same as the Lombowman. Because the Lombowman is 116, and this is 110. So it's almost the same range as the Lombowman. The ammo, good. Good damage. This is actually really good damage. The defense is just what you expect. And here's the unit traits. Oh man, it's gonna be a long one. Royal Lombowmen are seasoned and well equipped. Switch arrow types to match full battle. At close range, 0 between 40 meters. Heavy bodkin arrows. Heavy bodkin arrows. Bodkin arrows can use special armor piercing heads. The range is short, but they excel at piercing armor and may stagger struck enemies. So at close range, they're kind of just like at close range. They're kind of just their own versions of Imperial archers. And at medium range, between 40 to 90 meters, it's true aim arrows. Most common arrow to strike swiftly and accurate, dealing effective damage to light armored units. Yikes. So you kind of don't want to use them against any legendary and some purple units because they have pretty heavy armor after purple season. After purple units, long range, 90 meters plus. So I'm guessing it's 90 meters to 110. That's what I'm guessing. Unless they increase it later because the unit is not set in stone yet. They have light feather arrows that are made with lighter wood and smaller heads. They fly further but with reduced accuracy and lethality. So, yeah. They kind of just a unit that's an all-rounder, close range, medium range, and long range. The longer the unit is, the less damage they do, but the more of an advantage of range you have, I guess. So you can kind of use them against other archers, or you can use them against heavier units with the bodkin arrows. And when using lobbed arrow storm, lobbed arrows are fired at a high arc, allowing them to clear obstacles and rain down on enemies. I wonder how much they arc in the air. Like it'd be like the Olympic javelins or the Ratatan poison archers. Here's this. Rain several volleys of arrows into enemies within the target area, dealing increased damage. This skill cannot be used at close range, and its usable minimal range does not shrink with distance. So it'll last for 5 seconds, and it'll has a 30-second cooldown. And it's kind of just the attack order. So the abilities, they don't have crazy abilities. Well, this one might be crazy depending how much it arches, because you can make some crazy plays with this on some maps that require arching arrows. And if you use this with an arching arrow from a sneaky spot, you could get good value. Here's the veterancy. Oh, you can increase the range even more. So damage, top one is damage, more range. Damage, heavy bucket arrows reduces all defense types of enemy units for 5 seconds. The defense reduction from heavy bucket arrows by 3%. So it's 3% defense reduction. More speed increase. True aim. This is a medium range arrows, damage against infantry. So you can have more damage with the medium arrows. And more range increase. And yeah, so this top one is kind of more focused on range and damage. What about this one? Damage, defense, more ammo. more defense, cooldown, more damage, the lobbed arrow storm. Oh, so you can have better curve damage, I guess. Okay, so the top one is mostly focused for range and damage, and the bottom one is focused more for cooldown and ability for the cooldown of the lobbed arrow storm. So if you want to go for just pure damage or lobbed arrow storm arc, you can go for this one. So yeah, it's gonna be I don't think it's gonna be an overpowered unit, because so far they don't seem to do crazy damage. We're just gonna have to see how they play out once they release on the 12th for the PTR, and see how much the bodkin arrows damage does and how much the light feather arrows deal damage at long range. But yeah, it looks like a fun unit, kind of like an all-rounder. A combination of Imperial Archers, Lombowmen, and Orang, I guess. Just one range for one unit for each range distance. And I cannot show you the doctrines because again it's not released, but we'll see once it comes out. I'm currently in the process of making the video of 1v1 these 1v1 in these units with these other units. But while I do that, kind of just want to upload a video of me trying out these units in siege matches, bot C matches. So don't think it's too crazy. So yeah, while I make the 1v1 videos, I'm gonna show how these units
The crown
do in
is
regular
ours.
bot siege
Let
matches.
the traitors flee before the white rose.
But before we start, these are Doctrines and Vet I'm gonna use on them. For the Lancastrian Billmen, I'm gonna use their 2 Doctrines. Just their 2 Doctrines to test it out. And there's bottom veterancy. So increase maximum shield with the fries attack targets by 1 for more damage. And this one, if no enemy stands before them, they'll attempt to strike distant targets. I'm gonna test out what this is because I don't really know what this means. So this is what I'm gonna do. And for the Cav,
A victory for the real crown.
for the Cav, I'm gonna use their 2 Doctrines as well. And the top veterancy for infantry use. So the top one is for infantry and the bottom is for Cav. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, this game I'm first gonna try out the York Crest Heavy Cavalry first. So do charge. Yikes. Charge. Bring them back. The 3. Use 1. And use 2. When I use the 2, I get a buff that the unit takes 20% of my damage. Oh, they're still losing against bots under the ladder though. That is not very good. Well, like I was saying, when I use the 2, I get a cover commander buff that 20% of the damage I take, they get instead. If they survive long enough, since they are pretty squishy. Now I'm gonna go get the next unit. Yeah, sadly, the units for now are not living up to my expectation. I might be using them wrong, correct? Or maybe they're just not as good as I thought they were gonna be. I'll try triangle formation this time, see how that works. Use 1, then 2. And they're dead. I got 4 kills. I got 4 kills doing that. They might be more against anti-cav, or I don't know. They're just not that good. Or maybe because I'm going against blobs. That could be a factor as well. But yeah, let's see. Doing. Yep. Right, here's the next match with them, and we're gonna try to make a choke point right here. He's in the triangle formation. No, he's in the wedge formation. He's in 1, then 2. Oh wow. Oh, that was pretty bad. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to work, but the bleeding is pretty bad, and the lifesteal does not seem to be helping much. So I got 3 kills off them. They're not they're not strong at all. Might need a buff. Alright, now here's the cav unit. So I think you're supposed to use them like this. You do charge. Totally missed that. Bring him back with the 3. Bring him back with 3. Hop off. And then use 2. And use that 20% damage increase. And even though they did a good burst damage, they are pretty squishy. They don't have a lot of health, and they don't have a lot of armor, so they just died kind of fast. I got 40 kills off it though, but it's not really that impressive. Maybe I'm using them wrong, but we'll try again next game. Alright, here's a cav. I forgot to record when I used the spearman or the billman, but I'll get the cav on right now. Now we first need someone to try it on. Since this is a cap map or pretty wide area, I'm gonna leave them in their horses. Did they go? Nope. And they have a charge. Then charge back. Hop them off the horse. Use 2. And wipe out the Valkyries. So that's kind of the strat that you want to do. Use charge, bring them back, and then put them on infantry mode. Because when they go into infantry mode, they get increased damage for 14 seconds. But the thing is that the 2 last for 15 seconds. And the cooldown is 30. So you're kind of just sitting there not doing anything while the ability comes back. I'm gonna try it again. Cav. Follow commander. Follow commander. Use 1 again. Use 2. See, the unit swings their swords rapidly, like the Like the claymores, kinda. But because the health and defenses are not that high, they still die pretty easily. So they are squishy. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, most of my unit is dead. And I got about 100 kills between both of them. Time to test it out in the next match. Alrighty, here we go again with the Lancastrian Billmen. Hopefully it goes better this time. If it lands. There you go. Oh crap! I use 2. Oh, I don't like how they're struggling against commoners. All of them are here. And they're kind of taking a bit. I'm pretty sure the Scylla guards will kill faster than this. I'm gonna try the 2 without formation. Yeah, when you use the 2 without formation, they just search for a target. Jesus. I need to wait for my 2 again. Put him down, press 2. Oh, they're struggling. They're only doing 600 damage per hit. Okay. Doing better than last time, I guess. You can barely tell the difference between the actual damage and the bleed damage, because it's not, I don't think it's doing much. And the lifesteal is not crazy either. I use 2. And they died. Oh, it didn't win against Iron Reapers, alright. Oh well. Time to get the other unit.
Fight for a true king, not a kinslayer.
Alright, here you go. Here's a cav unit now. In my opinion, I think infantry mode is better than cav mode, because in cav mode they don't do much.
Attack!
Let's see what happens here. Decent kills, press a 2. Have them follow. I do like how versatile they are though. Oh my. So do this, do 3. Do 2. Do 1 and then do 2. Have the cover commander buff. They do good burst damage, but I just don't like how the abilities last 15 seconds. After the ability lasts 15 seconds, but the cooldown is 30, so they're kind of just sitting there for a while. Alright. Now I'm gonna wait for them to get cav again. Going back into cavalry mode. Use 3. And see what else we find. These guys are a special unit, by the way, so you can put weapons doctor in if you want. Ooh, yikes. Recharge. Hop off with 1, then 2. Yeah, like I said, they do really good burst damage, but they die fairly easily. So you kind of don't want to have them in a fight for too long. Well, that's the end of my Siege unit testing. I'm gonna start editing my 1v1 testing, but it's gonna take a bit, so I wanted to do this one first. Since it's pretty fast, then why not? And yeah. In my opinion, the units are okay, nothing too crazy. But we'll see if they buff them more in the future or not. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and have a great day.